Season 14 Reloaded just came out. These are the patch notes for it. I've condensed them to specifically be about ranked. So there was a lot that happened in those patch notes, but this is purely to do with Warzone ranked that I'm talking about and what's going to actually make a difference there. The ISO 45, of course, as everyone expected, got a nerf. Reduced close range damage and increased hip spread. How much of a difference that is actually going to make, we'll have to test. And of course, we can now test that with a firing range quality of life update. So you can now actually apply armor plates to your target dummies in the firing range. Why that wasn't there in the beginning of the game, I have no idea, but it's there now. So by all means, you can test your ISO 45 there. Unfortunately, it doesn't really give you much control over the range at which those dummies appear. So again, this needs to be tested in the wild live in game. The Vaznef 9K also received a change. The language reads reduced close to mid damage distance. How much difference that's going to make? Again, we need to test that. What does this all mean for the SMG meta? Well, realistically, if the ISO 45 changes aren't that significant, it'll probably still be the top tier meta SMG. If the changes are significant enough, we'll probably see the MP5 being the go-to choice again. Or it could just mean we're going to get a variation where it's, pick your poison type scenario. I don't necessarily think that's a bad idea. I think that's a good change, so I'm for that. The other change was to the EBR 14. Nothing significant there. Nobody's really using it that much in ranked, but those that are, well, it has now a reduced ADS movement speed and a reduced hip strafe speed. Will this replace or make more of a case for the SO14? No, the SO14 is still the #1 rifle in the game and remains so. And that's pretty much gonna be consistent with all the long-range meta weapons in this game according to this current change. If you're using the Lachmann 556 previously, you're still going to be using the Lachmann 556. If you're using the HCR, you're still going to be using it. Likewise for the TAC-V, likewise for the SO14, nothing changes. That's pretty much all that matters at the moment for the guns, other than I will make the mention that the shotgun we all had existential dread over seeing in ranked is actually not going to be in ranked. Thank goodness. That automatic shotgun monstrosity, everyone else can go ahead and delete themselves to their heart's content in any other mode but ranked. I don't necessarily think that's a good thing. I'm just saying, I'm just glad it's non-ranked. Another very significant and pretty game-changing addition here is the redeployment elevation. Reads, the elevation at which players redeploy to the field will now be reduced by 9% of the initial elevation each circle. This reduction stops at circle 8 and remains constant for the remainder of the match. The total difference in height from the start of the match until the last adjustment is approximately 60%. What that basically realistically means, if you're being redeployed from the gulag or you've been rebought from the shop by one of your teammates and you're now floating up in the sky, your elevation in the sky is going to be much, much, much lower, which means that you can't just cheese it and linger in the sky to get better SR and to get a better rank just simply by floating there. But that's a good change. Definitely puts more impetus on being on the ground and finding a weapon and actually getting into gun battles and engagements. Now, if they could do something similar and change the way that the water mechanics work in this game, we might be getting somewhere. But as that doesn't seem likely, we'll just have to live with people landing in the water with the F-Tac Siege or some other automatic pistol. Those are the main changes, barring one, of course, which I'm going to speak about now, and that's the Bird's Eye perk, which is not only a good buff for the Bird's Eye perk, but I think it significantly changes the meta a bit. And it reads, when using a UAV in combination with Bird's Eye, players under the effects of Ghost are now revealed to that player. Now, this sounds like a bit of a trade-off. If you had a UAV previously and somebody was using Ghost, they were invisible to you. Bird's Eye perk does take an ultimate perk position, and now you do still require to get a UAV, but if you have that UAV, everyone is revealed to you. It's pretty strong, actually. That said, in my personal opinion, that makes Ghost useless as a ultimate perk, because all it takes is one person on the enemy team to have Bird's Eye and a microphone to be able to communicate to their team members exactly where you are. It makes UAV incredibly powerful, and it also makes Bird's Eye kind of a necessary perk if people are playing that way. In my personal opinion, this just essentially means that Ghost is pretty much going to be useless for a lot of situations. It does definitely change the meta, in my opinion. What that meta are more people just going to be using high alert or something else? We'll have to wait and see. But I definitely do not believe a lot of people are going to be running Ghost anymore. Definitely think it'll be quite a good tactic for at least one player on your team to have Bird's Eye as a perk. Those are the significant updates for this patch. There are obviously a lot of other things that happen in Reloaded, but this to me is a condensed version of what I believe is important for ranked play. See you next time.